सो हे गेमर्स, वेलकम बैक। वापस आ चुके हम गेंशिन इम्पैक्ट एक और वीडियो में। लास्ट एपिसोड में हमने फ्लोरिना को पुल किया था। मैंने तो कोई अपग्रेड भी नहीं किया है और अब हमारा वैसे ऊपर जाने का था और लाइक न्यूज़ स्टैंड से जाना था, तो मूव करने वाला हूँ। कल जो मैंने वीडियो पोस्ट की थी वो बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी थी, मुझे पता है, बट पक्का प्रॉमिस करता हूँ ये वीडियो नहीं होगी। शायद हो भी सकती है, केस हो क्या पता। चलते जल्दी से ज़रा। All right, let's go.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper.
है?
What's going on?
मेरा नेम है? मैंने कुछ गलत तो नहीं किया था?
Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the fortress of Meropide, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake.
Huh?
It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker.
Huh?
Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead? Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool.
अरे यार, हमको भी देखना है यार भाई, हमको भी देखना है यार। ये हमें तो गलत हुआ यार, मेरे साथ, मेरे को देखने को भी नहीं मिला। ऑलराइट,
We're here!
खाते हैं। और हाँ, वैसे एक और चीज़, मुझे इस वीडियो में मुझे वो एक बॉस बैटल को भी चैलेंज करना है, ठीक है। और थोड़ा फ्लोरिना को 40 लेवल पर आते हैं एटलीस्ट, तो भाई बेचारी उधर 20 लेवल पर ही है, अटकी हुई है, तो ज़रा उसको भी बॉस बैटल करते हैं। ओह, ऑलराइट।
Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it! Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go! I'm sure it'll be great! One slice of cake, please. Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia!
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalette was right. You really can't.
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and cup.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
What? ये रोज केक खाती है?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and cup.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore? What would...
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much. No, it's the same for...
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake? These 2 slices are for you. Sijouin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know Sijouin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two.
Ooh, okay.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. I'm unsure that...
ये तो पेस्ट्री है ना, लेकिन
It's more delicious. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
ये तो पेस्ट्री था ना, लेकिन क्या मैं कुछ खास लेने के लिए परचेज कर सकता हूँ कुछ खाने के लिए? व्हाट डू यू हैव टू सेल हियर? फॉन्टा, नहीं ज़रूरत नहीं है। ओके, तो वो तो भाई मैं बाद में, बहुत बढ़िया, पहले ये कर लो, ठीक है। तो बाहर चलता है और वो सब भाई मैं बाद में करूँगा, लेकिन मुझे एक बॉस बैटल चैलेंज करना है। सो लेट्स सी कैसा जाता है बॉस बैटल। ऑल राइट, सो लेट द एपिक बैटल बिगिन। इसके बाद आई होप कि मुझे कोई बोल ना दे, ऐसा लाइक स्टोरी कंटिन्यू ना हो, लाइक कोई आ जाए वैसा टाइप का, क्योंकि मुझे बॉस बैटल करनी है। इट विल बी अ ग्रेट फन। ओह नहीं, चलो ठीक है, बढ़िया, चलो फिर लेट्स गो। श्योर, लेट्स हैव अ बॉस बैटल। आई एम रियली वेरी एक्साइटेड। मुझे देखना है कि भाई कैसा होता है बॉस बैटल, ठीक है। तो करते हैं। ऑलराइट, सो योर्स गोज फॉर नथिंग। लेट मी सी अपने इसके लिए असेंट। आई नीड लेक लाइट लिली फाउंड इन एरिनियस फॉरेस्ट, फाउंड इन अ वाइल्ड। ये कहाँ मिलेगा? आई थिंक इसको मैं बहुत पैदल कर सकता हूँ ना। 1 मिनट। लोगों स्पेशली फाउंटेन एरिनियस फॉरेस्ट में क्या मिलेगा? अब ये फॉरेस्ट का आता है, मैं कौन सी जगह पर हूँ? फॉरेस्ट यूटोपेरा। दिख नहीं रहा किधर। ज़रा 2 मिनट रुक के देखो, मैं ज़रा 3 मिनट में आता हूँ। तो एक समस्या हो गई है। अगर मुझे इसको असेंड करना है तो मुझे ना एक्चुअली में वो नया जगह को एक्सप्लोर करना पड़ेगा। और मेरा प्लान तक क्या था कि मैं स्टोरी के साथ ही करूँगा, बट अगर मुझे भी एक्सटेंड करना है तो भाई बहुत वीक रहेगी, तो मुझे जाना पड़ेगा। और भाई अपना मैं समझ जाऊँ कि भाई क्या करना है, लेकिन भाई मुझे ऐसा मुझे एक्चुअली में बॉस बैटल करना था, बट अब मुझे पहले ये करना पड़ेगा। इधर आई कैन सी द स्टैचू ओवर देयर। ओह ओके, आई सी इट। Just give me that. Thank you. Alright, so पहाड़ पर है ना, इस पहाड़ से चलते हैं, फिर यहाँ से जोंगली को निकालते हैं क्योंकि उसके पास स्पीड है इसके लिए। राइट, ओह बस यहाँ पर एक और है। ओके, ऊपर चलता। दिख गया। मैं ऊपर कैसे जाऊँ वैसे? ओके, बढ़िया। well, I guess let me try by this. मैंने जम क्यों किया? आराम शांति से कर लेता तो क्या जाता, फिर से एक बार ट्राई करना पड़ेगा। अरे क्या हो रहा है ये? आराम से, शांति से, आराम से, पेशेंस से एकदम। कम ऑन। अरे भाई क्या हो रहा है? 1 मिनट। करूँ कैसे मैं उसको? अभी एक काम करना पड़ेगा, उसको स्टार मार्क कर दो, बाद में फिर नहीं भाई मैं ऐसे टाइम वेस्ट करता रहूँगा इसके लिए। ऑलराइट, ऐसा करते हैं सर इसको। दोस्त विद नोबल हार्ट्स एंड लेट्स गो। आई हैव सक्सेसफुली अनलॉक्ड। तो यहाँ पर किधर लेक के आसपास आ रहा है? अरे भाई तो बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा है। अरे भाई ऑलराइट, तो मुझे आना है ये साइड के आसपास। तो ज़रा यहाँ पर इसको करते हैं अट्रैक्ट। हमें इसको मार्क करता है, स्टैचू ब्लेसिंग सब दे दो लेवल 3 पर। बढ़िया। सामने एक पड़ा लेकिन दे नहीं सकता, क्या दिन आ गया यार। ओ एक और इधर है, ये साइड पर किधर है? दिखा, भागो। अरे भाई बहुत लोग पीछे पड़े मेरे, भागो। नहीं आ रहे, चलो बढ़िया। अब वो से जाना है। ओह आई सी इट। ओके ओके, मेरा स्टैमिना खत्म हो गया बहुत। अरे शिलप, फिर भी डैमेज दे दिया लोगों ने। क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? ये ऐसा क्यों ट्री पड़ा है रे? ये कुछ हुआ था क्या इस जगह पर? ऑलराइट, ये अपना वे पॉइंट। और मैं डिस्टेंस पर, ओह ये क्या है? आई थिंक डिस्टेंस में मैंने ये देखा था। नहीं वहाँ पर है ना, वो साइड पर माउंटेन के पास है। तो यहाँ पर मार्क लगा देता हूँ ताकि मुझे लाइक रहेगा। तो यहाँ पर ऊपर वो है अपना लाइक लग्जरी जैसा। ओके, तो यहाँ पर कहीं पर होना चाहिए, इसको मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ। थिंक द लेक यही है। अब मुझे नहीं पता कि वो बॉस बैटल टाइप से मिलता है या फिर ऐसे के मिल जाता है। ये तो अपने ओर से है। उधर एक और है। ओए भाई यहाँ पर ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? तो देख लिया मेरे को। ओ ओके, प्लीज उठ जाओ। ओके भागो। और बच गया। अरे भाई मेरा पीछा छोड़ दे भाई। अरे पीछा छोड़ दे मेरा। आई थिंक ओके, मिल गया। बढ़िया, लेट्स गो। ये चाहिए तो मुझे इसको अपग्रेड करने के लिए क्लाइम नहीं करना। शील्ड अप। आई थिंक इतना काफी है। मतलब 40 को 1 सेकंड 2 मिल गए। बढ़िया। ऑलराइट, भाई क्लाइम क्यों कर रहा है? छोड़। ओके, वहाँ पर एक और वे पॉइंट है, उसे अनलॉक कर लेता। ऑलराइट, ओके दोकी। और हियर वी गो, कर दिया अनलॉक। यस माय फ्लोरिना लेवल 40। एंडलेस वॉल्स। ओके, एंडलेस वॉल्स कर दे, इसको लेवल अप। हाँ 28। तो यहाँ से नहीं इतना। ऑलराइट, इतना अगर मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता अगर लॉस हो रहा है तो इसको ले लो, बढ़िया। और हाँ, हियर वी गो, ड्रॉप बाय हाइड्रोटल्पस फाउंटेन, हियर वी गो। करते जरा बॉस बैटल को चैलेंज और देखते हैं कि मैं कितना अच्छा इससे बैटल कर पाता हूँ। आई होप कि ये ज़्यादा ताकत पर ऐसा कुछ ना हो कि भाई फाइट करने को भाई मुझे साल लग जाए। ठीक है, तो करते हैं ये अंडरग्राउंड। ओके ओके ओके, वन सेकेंड। टीम रेडी है मेरी? यस रेडी है। उससे पहले बस एक चीज़, आई जस्ट नीड अ फूड एंड दैट इज अ डिफेंस। आ जाओ, हो जाए। ओ नो, मैं इलेक्ट्रिक लाना भूल गया, कोई इलेक्ट्रो कैरेक्टर। डैमेज तो अच्छा ही पड़ रहा है, अल्ट मारता। आई डोंट इतना प्रॉब्लम होना चाहिए, किसी डैमेज से मैं अच्छा ही कर रहा हूँ उसको। आई डोंट इतना प्रॉब्लम होगा उसमें मुझे। इसको मारना पड़ेगा। हाँ, इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उसका। ओके, लेट्स जस्ट यूज आवर अल्ट। ओ माय गॉड, थैंक्स टू द शील्ड में बचा, नहीं तो भाई मजा आती। I'm taking damage? One second, what? मेरी शील्ड काम नहीं कर रही है बंगली की। भाई व्हाट, भाई एचपीओ कितनी आ रही है? I will need to heal. Heal? I think heal हो गए वो, जब वो मुझे परेशान कर रहे हैं। अल्ट मारो। वो तो भी है। ओ भागो, वन सेकेंड, हील करो। अरे क्या कर रहा है? हाँ, फूड। अरे भाई इसको नहीं देना। पहले से भाई 1 HP कर रहा है, बहुत बढ़िया। इसको दो। इसको नहीं दिया तो भी चलेगा। ओके, एक्स मार्क। ठीक है, तो फिर आ गया। Half HP. आई थिंक जब मैं फ्लोरिना की अल्ट मूव यूज कर रहा हूँ तभी मुझे डैमेज पड़ रहा है। भाई इतनी अच्छी कैसे आ रही है भाई मुझे भाई कोई जा भी नहीं रही थी। वन मिनट हील करना पड़ेगा। अरे क्या कर रहा हूँ भाई मैं यार। लॉन्गली इसको, ये भी खत्म हो गया। ये इसको इसको लॉन्गली इसको फन ग्रेटर भी यूज कर सकता हूँ। अभी बस कोई हील नहीं है अच्छा सा। आई थिंक जब मैं फुरना की मारा तभी मुझे डैमेज पड़ रहा और ऐसा मुझे डैमेज में तो नहीं पड़ रहा। आई थिंक ये उसके पीछे का रीजन हो सकता है। इसको का okay, going great.
I will have order.
Okay.
Stabilize. Solidify.
अब मैं हील हो रहा हूँ बढ़िया।
Stabilize. This is order.
Brain outlines your fate. Let me read you a verse.
Solidify.
ओके ऑलमोस्ट मर गया, खत्म है तो। जी 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 लेट्स गो जी जी। वी हैव डिफीटेड। बढ़िया ले लेता एंड वी हैव गॉट इट। दो भी मिल गया बढ़िया। ऑल राइट ऑल राइट। जो प्लेयर्स का टैलेंट्स पढ़ना है पहली चीज़। रोज द इम्पल्सिव टू रिवील क्रेडिट अ स्टेज of foam that will deal AEO hydro damage based on the Florina's max HP and causes nearby party members to enter the universal revelatory state during this time. When nearby party members' HP increases or decreases, one fanfare point will be granted to Florina for each percentage to point of their max HP, by which their HP changes. At the same time, Florina will increase the damage dealt by and incoming healing bonus of all nearby party members based on the amount of fanfare she has. When the duration ends, Florina fanfare points will be cleared. Alright. आर्टिफैक्ट लगाते जल्दी से। इसलिए सबसे बेस्ट आर्टिफैक्ट्स कौन से है ज़रा मुझे ज़रा फिर रिसर्च करके आना पड़ेगा। तो मैं जल्दी से मिलता हूँ और हील भी करता हूँ और फिर आपसे मिलता हूँ, ठीक है।
For making an argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not, and if I was not the Archon, then how did I
ओके ये देख के ट्राई करूँ।
doesn't
नहीं, ये
sound
work नहीं
right.
करेगा। Oh हाँ ये। What about this?
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low.
A curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalet?
Lady Furina. Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a... Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. For centuries, manifestations of one need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera.
Oh, well I guess it was child. Yeah, I think it was child. मैं child रखा था.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that, but...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need.
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
Great.
So, you
We
neither
are winning,
knew why
बढ़िया.
child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operate. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon.
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over you.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just...
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever...
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a...
Let's go, bhai. We are winning. GG.
Seems like nobody's buying Furina's
Hey, come now, everyone. Please, I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? Please,
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence.
Wow, she came up with...
ये ट्राई करूं?
That
No,
doesn't
that doesn't work. ये ट्राई करूं? I don't think ये वर्क करेगा. I think ये ट्राई करूं? ये ट्राई करते हैं.
It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll... Now, I've brought some seawater from Pasand. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Furina, would you if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Pasand, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Pasand for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to
Okay. अब वो बहुत टफ सिचुएशन में. ओ
Lady Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participating.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... That's not...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Furina.
What? Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really...
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend.
Win, don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss
भाई
Siegewing.
यार
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Furina, you may return to the defendant.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Pasand. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Furina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Furina could have... I can't believe...
Listen to me,
Okay.
everyone.
Alright.
Please don't think about it. How can you Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put...
लोग इसे बिलीव नहीं करते.
Please,
और हो रही है.
Can Everyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your
रो रही
heart.
है? Okay, I think she has given up.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
With all the things that have been said, Hyman doesn't think.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Oh, ये क्या
I
हुआ?
don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
कुछ हो रहा है? हाँ,
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is
guilty.
guilty.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Okay. And here we get it. क्या वो guilty है?
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty...
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon to be punished via the death sentence.
Wait. What? Death sentence?
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
What?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected...
Furina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentence, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Pasand wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Furina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first... But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does...
Okay.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still...
Mene! You finally made it.
Any mission for...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Mene to try and find...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous... But has the trial already concluded? Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Mene. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate.
Okay. Let's see. I'm also curious.
Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and confirm.
All right. So let's go then. चलते हैं नीचे.
So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's...
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Furina, and we've already proven that she... so when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paima will do her best.
Okay. Select the check and description on the stone slate to extract the key information from them. You can find essays related to the stone slate's contents in the incidents recorded in the interview notebook that you can verify slate content. As the verification process continues, the fountain water level in the menu interface will rise. When you have finished verifying all the stone slate, the truth behind the prophecy shall be revealed. Alright, so let's begin. Okay. Let me try my best.
First stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans.
Okay.
Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paima wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps the second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so we didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident...
Okay. I will go for this.
That doesn't sound quite...
Okay, so Navia.
That doesn't...
A new minute.
That doesn't...
Huh? Yeah. Okay,
We know from the case of the serial and the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
Okay. फिर ना ये तो ये कर दिया राइट अभी everything Neuvillette या let's go for Neuvillette नहीं Furina yes
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
Okay. और इसकी बारी and I will go for I think Neuvillette child Navia yes
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be a
yes and now Hydro Archon ka Neuvillette
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not meant. The fortress of Meropede was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontanians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come if we hadn't dealt with it in time.
Okay, I think yeah.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an Oceanic. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Pasand in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of
Alright, mission complete. Let's go.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense, but then it feels like we're going to have...
Let's hear them.
Incredible! Lenny,
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vache dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the... So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different... When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was up. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally...
Okay.
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race, and thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into...
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordials. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of Trials and Justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're...
What should we do?
No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meropide served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass. However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause.
आई थिंक मुझे चाइल्ड ने वेल देखा वो यस
It was both dream and...
आई थिंक वही है
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the
the truth, the original sin.
ओ ये क्या हुआ वेल आई एम जस्ट कंप्लीट स्पीचलेस मेरे को ये क्या था ये क्या हो रहा है व्हाट Nivelet, are you? Nivelet? Oh, साइड भाई बढ़िया टाइमिंग साइड को भाई प्रॉपर टाइम का है चल वापस नीचे गिर गया व्हाट आई थिंक अब हमें भी जाना पड़ेगा
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the... It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the run. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea,
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled the...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontaine.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practical. Even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off toward...
That's not something we've already done everything we can, and we've come so far.
Indeed. That's not how a grand... I'll fight it to the end.
So the huh?
The prophecy. Just as prophecies ultimately
भाई मेरे को दिमाग में शॉक लग रहा है पता है ओ ये ब्रेक हो रहा है
What's happening with the aura trees?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Furina!
No, I still need answers.
ओ कुछ ज़्यादा ही ब्राइट ओके मेरे पता जब मैं कर रहा था मेरे को बॉडी में शॉक ऐसा टाइप फील हुआ मतलब नहीं था कैसे एकदम हो रहा है बट दैट वाज लाइक क्रेजी इनसेन ऐसा किसके पास आया Is that the previous Hydro Archon?
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Furina.
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor.
Focalor? Why did you...
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else, too, if I was to stand any chance of the heavenly principle.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe. She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Furina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then all part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive that. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra in order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydra under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epic.
But Furina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology. It's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Okay. ओके कर लेते हैं जस्ट गो ऑलराइट Furina?
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rule. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Or they can find a way. उधर कुछ है.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
I must leave no stone unturned.
One minute.
How brilliant!
All right. ये एक और.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! May I present?
Nice and spicy. Boba, get them.
All right, ये भी खत्म. Let's go. खत्म. बढ़िया. Final boss लेते हैं जरा. Shield up.
Stabilize.
All right, I think नहीं है. ये क्या टिकट है? हाँ? Okay, I think it Furina get true feeling है. Scene 1. Before a mirror. Furina. Okay. Switching to walking. Okay.
Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
the prophecy.
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very...
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really...
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have...
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so... As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was... Why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scale...
You truly are the perfect human, my ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role, that of the new Archon.
Play as...
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Furina de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-back puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the... Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of calm down, Furina. Think. What do the people... Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self. Here in this opera house, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its god. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fire. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to... Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly...
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable... All right. Deoteria, is it? How it...
You remembered me, and you knew of my family. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
You're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about, right?
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit... The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. Maybe this is fine. I just need to... Alright, Furina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Furina, I've waited so...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous...
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Pasand.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the instant. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the... I just... don't know. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Furina, it's like a dream being able to speak. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer.
Surely you...
What is it? Good.
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to...
Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds. I never imagined that it would hurt if I reached my limit. No, I want to tell someone, anyone. I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But there's not. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine.
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people...
Share. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you just share it with me.
A witness. And if to that... He's right. I could but if things don't play out as expected... No, Furina. You But what if... Furina, you've worked so hard. Is it such an outrageous thing to do? If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Furina, the Ark. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance.
Fine.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good. Of course, the Udex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the oratories take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the... But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial...
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the oratories, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet. Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the... and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possess. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for Udex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land. When you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Udex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. but these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Dekh Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Where do you want to go next? If you...
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something...
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the... We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice. The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come. find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient light. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Steady as stone.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
No stone unturned. Time to clean
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Gather! Order guide you. Stabilize.
Boba, get them!
I will have order.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
That power. Who?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was, less...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring... That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet-sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the...
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire... So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, his name is Sir Taloji.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then?
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the visionary?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhyme Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhindaughter. They are both pursuing some form of
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person?
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong! The prophecy was wrong!
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Osmanthus
the Spina tax post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Pasand to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Spina. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little skyship winglet, boon or bane of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big scoops lies in Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true...
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly...
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different.